Won't be too long till we see him run, since it's an Auburn Tiger, to be fair and balanced, to lead us off here.
Sante, let me give you the numbers here. If we're just taking a number, let's just look at tackles from last year, the top 10 in the league. The 40 time when you're looking at those guys, the 40 is 4.63. So that's kind of a great target. And you got to be able to run, play linebacker in this league. You got to cover, you got to have range.
Here we go. Final 40s of day one. And a 4.48 to start us.
That's a good start right there. Get us going here, Mr. Asante. Nicely done. And you'll see that with him, the speed, the chase. He has twitched up all caps here when I'm looking at my notes. He absolutely destroyed the Cal running back on the way to the quarterback in that game.
Yeah, James Pierce ran a 4.47 of the defensive line group, the fastest there. So already we've seen that time threatened.
Bassa is a good athlete and absolutely the unquestioned leader of that Oregon football team. And at the Reese's Senior Bowl, established himself just in that week of practice as the leader of his team down there in Mobile. He's got natural leadership qualities.
So part of the Oregon Ducks team that won the Big Ten in their first year in the Big Ten right here in this building against Penn State. And then they ran into the Ohio State buzzsaw in the Rose Bowl. That game was over before it began.
He jumped right on him. That's a good time.
Stacey Dales.
Yeah, Rich, just quickly on Jihad Campbell, obviously 6'3", about 235. He talked to him this week, said, you know, people think I'm a big guy, can't run. Well, DJ just said he's going to fly. And he said you can underline a 4.6, but I think if he can just hit below that, he would be very happy today. But he's certainly been training for this.
I think he plays faster than 4.6 too, Stace, so it'll be interesting to see what that time is.
Carson Bruner of Washington.
Family business, Rich. Mark, his dad. Steeler lore.
Off he goes. 4.59.
That's a really good time for him. And he's got instincts all over the place. You watch him against screen, sniff those out. He's very instinctive in coverage. He plays ultra aggressive.
There's Teddy Buchanan, a Cal Bear. Nice frosted lid right here.
I went with that look once upon a time in college. Rich.
Did you? How'd it work for you?
Well, it's just, I would say it was a
brief moment?
I was going to say a cousin of Justin Timberlake, not a brother, you know. It was, and they were very frosted.
Buchanan's 40-inch vert. Let's see if it translates. It's the best of the linebacker group. It's 4.61.
Yeah, that's the mark here. 4.63 is what you're aiming for, so he's dipped below that. That's excellent.
So here's the man of the hour, Jihad Campbell from Alabama. An eighth of an inch shy of 6'3", 235.
Your toe can't be beyond this line right here.
Let's get Mark Gorsick, the longtime Steelers scout.
Top of that black line. You got it right there. You're cool.
Just asking him where he can place his feet.
Yes.
He can place his hands.
Just make sure your toe's not on that line. You're good.
There he goes.
He got out.
Jihad Campbell, 4.52.
Yeah, that's fantastic time for Jihad Campbell. It was just clean. And then again, just relax and stride it out. And you, again, there's sometimes where you don't see a DNA match from the tape to the time. That one is the speed that you see when you watch him play. He plays that fast.
Power Echols.
It's a great name for a linebacker.
Sure is. Still won't be able to believe it that Bill Belichick is going to be on a sideline with a Carolina blue on next fall in college football, but sure enough, that will happen. Charles with a 4.74.
Someone that likes to shoot gaps and is a little bit rigid in some of his change of direction stuff, but he plays with a little aggressiveness, which you like.
Here comes an Iowa linebacker, Jay Higgins.
He is an awesome leader. Now the challenge is the testing. The expectations are not great for the testing, so let's see if he can surprise us here and put a good time together, because the leadership and the toughness and the instincts are excellent.
He's moving. 4.82.
That's kind of what the expectation was there. But again, if you've got instincts, you're gonna get a nice head start, cover up some of that.
Charles Davis, take it away.
Hey guys, and DJ, you always talk about these guys and how fast they go. He said something earlier tonight about grading the flashes on players.
Yep.
Nick Martin, when Oklahoma State comes in, there was a flash play in the Big 12 championship game a couple years ago about him running down Xavier Worthy of Texas. So if I'm grading that flash, I expect him to run very fast today.
That's literally a flash, yeah.
Here's Shamar James of Florida.
Yeah, he's another one. Again, you're going to hear leader a lot with these linebackers. He's the leader of that Gator team.
4.7 flat. I mean, obviously, so many positions can be viewed as a leadership position, but on defense, you're talking about the quarterback of defenses really pretty much, certainly if we're right in the middle.
Yeah, if we're thinking sports, as you look at Coach Harbaugh and see his name in the Ring of Honor here.
Captain Comeback.
And he will appreciate this too, that in every sport, the closer to the middle of the field you get are the leadership positions. We used to always say, well, okay, with some of the other issues you might have, we were more forgiving towards the perimeter. The more we get to the middle of the field, center, quarterback, middle linebacker, safety, those are leadership communication positions. And this is another outstanding leader here, Demetrius Knight, who they love at South Carolina. He came from Georgia Tech.
And off he goes.
How about this one, Rich?
4.58.
Fantastic time. His story, he's at Georgia Tech for 4 years. Then he goes to Charlotte for 1 year and then shows up at South Carolina. When he was at Charlotte, he's a father of two, as we look at Ozzie Newsome, the legend there. As a father of two at Charlotte, he had to make some extra money. So he would play a game on a Saturday and DoorDash that night to get a little extra money for what he needed at home. So I love the fact you get somebody that's, you talk about having a work ethic and knowing what's at stake here. He does.
From DoorDash to 40-yard dash.
Yes.
We're going with a cap here. Yeah, the cap.
Is that the first one?
I don't recall how many caps have you seen.
And it's not like a skull cap. That's like a beanie.
I think the last beanie we saw run a 40 was Wells, right?
A Beanie Bishop last year, actually.
You're offhand there or not. Okay. Now I know. Okay. And then you went low early anyway. Okay.
Good get off.
Real good get off. Hold your off half for 3 counts, and you'll get after it now.
221 pounds, and Charles mentioned Flash a few years ago. He should be able to roll.
Ran down Xavier Worthy on that play that Charles was referring to, and Xavier Worthy, as we all know, ran down John Ross last year. This very 40-yard dash line.
That's a good start.
4.53.
And his head was warm the whole time.
Nice.
It's starting to get a little loose there when you're running that fast.
It's going to come off, right? Bam Martin Scott, another
Get some good
South
linebacker
Carolina
names.
player.
They'll let him kind of mug that A-gap against the center. He'll get the chance to line up just right over the center sometimes and cause some havoc.
We've seen a power, and now we've seen a bam. 4.63. Stacy.
Yeah, Rich, I'm going to play off DJ here and keep raving about Demetrius Knight. And people forget he went to Georgia Tech as a quarterback. He was a dual threat quarterback. And obviously he transitioned to linebacker. We talked to him this week. He envisioned himself as a youngster coming to the NFL Combine as a quarterback. He said way back when, if you had to ask me, would you go as a linebacker, he would have cried. That's not what his vision was, but he said in order to get on the field, I had more opportunity at linebacker. Really cool story, DJ. And by the way, he's a grown man. Wife, Jency's got a son, Malachi, 7 months old. He said he already looks like a linebacker. And daughter, Camilla, 2 years old.
That's a father or two, married father or two.
Yeah,
you don't hear that too often at a combine. Francisco Mauingoa of Miami with a 4.61.
You had some quarterback experience. I saw him. He played against my son in high school as a quarterback.
Here comes.
He should run well.
Kain Medrano.
He should run well. And he's someone, again, there's some of these linebackers I kind of just said, this can be a stud special teams player. He had a pick 6 and a hurdle against Nebraska that was big time, but he plays over the top of blocks. He's got a lot of bounce and just a lot of pop in his step as he's running. He's got some life to him in his movement. So he gets swallowed a little bit at times. You know, he struggles to get off blocks, but this is one of those guys to me I think is going to find a role special teams. You know, run and hit, find a spot.
Your offhand went back, then you took off. So when your offhand goes back, hold it for 3 counts, and then get off. Your get off was good though. Okay, you got to hold it for 3 counts when your offhand goes back.
Too much pop in his step.
Yeah, well, you're
Got
twitchy.
the whistle.
Twitchy doesn't like to stand still. Twitchy likes to get moving.
You 2 guys just came, move in. They're timing 10s right here, so you're not in the way. Thank you.
Oh, that was a kind and gentle. The first kind and
yeah.
Normally, when he addresses the crowd, he's a little less kind and gentle.
Wait till Sunday. Sunday marks a little different.
Normally, he's barking at people that get in the way. He's a kinder, gentler Mark Gorsuch we found this year, maybe.
It's early.
It is.
He was a thrower on the UCLA track team, so.
Here it goes. Bring in the Cain.
He's able to run fast.
I guess Cain gets the scepter right now. Simulcam presented by Rocket. Gerard Campbell, Will Anderson. Let's see it. Let's get after it.
All right, Gerard's going to win that one.
See you later.
Look at him. Look at the length of those strides.
Yeah, that's an 8/100th of a second. We shall see what the official time is when it's all said and done. When we come back, we'll show you 40s that you missed and then the final 40s of the night. All right, the 40-yard dashes of the linebacker group that you missed. Smile Munden Jr.
He can run. He can cover.
4.62.
It's a good time for him. He lives in the weight room, too. They say they kick him out of the weight room at Georgia.
Colin Oliver.
Free and easy 4.56. Coming off of a foot injury, only played 2 games this year. That's pretty good recovery there.
Chris Paul Jr.
Goes by Pooh Paul.
Yeah, it's no relation to the Chris Paul, the basketball player, or Pooh Richardson.
Either one.
Neither one.
Correct.
And Danny Stutzman. Final 40 of the
He's moving pretty good.
linebacker group's first run, 4.52. Very well done.
Excellent time.
And the second run of Eugene Asante.
Back up here to the top. He started us off right.
And stick with his first one. Now we're back live with an Oregon Duck, Jeffrey Bassa. Been great if he went to Villanova, you know. Bossa Nova.
Oh, it took me a second. Yeah, as we get later, my trigger's
It's okay.
slow. Yeah.
It's all right. I should have telegraphed that one a little better. It's a very Berman-esque thing right there. Bossa Nova.
Oh, with the BAM out here, I mean, Berman would be having a field day with this group.
BAM is a great name for a linebacker.
Running back, linebacker, can't go wrong.
Correct.
Bruner was rolling.
5'9". mentioned his dad, Mark Bruner, tight end.
Brew a little longer.
Won a championship in Washington in '91.
Know your
Been
path,
14 years in the league.
A lot of time in personnel as well. In the NFL, around the NFL forever.
They don't play the music during the 40s.
More of a field drill thing.
Okay. I'm not asking for it.
We're more PGA on the 40s, more live in the field workouts.
Good analogies. 4.59 is his time, clearly. Kain Medrano has run the fastest 40 so far of the combine. Day one, defensive line group went first. Now the linebackers.
Teddy's an interesting one. He was at UC Davis and then transferring to Cal, but he had to finish up his degree first. So he was going to classes in the spring at UC Davis, navigating that traffic. If you've been up in that area, you know what that looks like to get to Cal for practices and meetings. So that tells you how bad he wanted to be involved in this new program.
You got to go through Vacaville? Is that what you got to do?
I think that's correct.
4.61. It's 2 runners in a row that had the exact same time unofficial.
He's a 4.61 guy.
And 2 runs. Okay, let's see what Jihad Campbell can do. 5.2. The first time around. And New Jersey's finest down in Alabama, now here in Indianapolis, going to parts unknown. The second run.
Strong stride.
And stick with the first if that is in fact official. Both incredibly impressive for a man his size. Your comp is highly complimentary, that's for sure.
Yeah, when you see the numbers as they spit out, there's a lot of similarities there. Ran a little bit faster there than Fred Warner. Say player-wise, Fred played with, instinct-wise, a tick ahead of Jihad, but Jihad a little more burst, which is kind of reflected in that 40 time. But man, Fred has been, and he's been a gold standard
spectacular
for quite some time.
Spectacular for San Francisco. Power Echols. 4.75. Almost another identical runner here. Let's go to Kunst on the phone.
So if North Carolina loses to TCU in the opener, we're on to Charlotte from Belichick?
Is that who they play next?
Yeah, it's week 2.
Look at you calling up the schedule for that one. That's neat. We're on to Charlotte. Do they play Cincinnati? Tell me they play Cincinnati at some point next year.
No, not next year.
Okay.
You do have Richmond. That's a feisty bunch you're going to see week 3.
Moving on to Richmond. 4.88.
I wouldn't schedule the Spiders personally. I don't think there's a lot of upside in that one.
They were one of those 12 seeds in hoops, right?
Yeah,
the Richmond Spiders would get you every now and then.
You don't want to see a 12.
I remember those days.
Prefer not to see an Ivy back in the day either. There was always an Ivy in the 12 spot, and that 12 seed that doing some damage.
That was 5-12s. Always those games. They still are.
Shamar James. They said that he can tell you where every single player lines up in every single play they run defensively at Florida. He is locked in mentally.
There it goes. Titch better.
And I know that's minuscule, but I'm telling you, on that card when you're in the draft room,
looks better.
The 6'9" just looks so much better than that 4.70.
It's like pricing something at like $1.99 rather than $2.
No doubt. There's a reason they do that. Look at the shoes.
Demetrius Knight.
Is that Scrooge McDuck? Is that who that was?
I didn't see.
On
When
the
he lifts his
inside.
knee.
We got to see that again at some point in time.
He's taking his time here. There we go. Demetrius Knight, 4.61.
Good time. Was I right? I was.
Oh my goodness!
Isn't that Scrooge McDuck?
That sure is. What's up with that?
He's making some money. Is what he's doing.
It's an interesting choice. I'm sure the folks at Disney are already on the phone. I didn't expect to see.
He made some money on his 40, and he might have lost some money as well.
I did not expect a Scrooge McDuck NIL tonight.
Here's Monty.
Cardinals general manager.
We caught Monty last year. You remember when somebody ran really fast and we got a reaction
he
from
was like,
him?
Whoa. Was it Xavier Worthy?
It might have been.
Yeah,
He
right.
kind of jumped out of his shoes.
Well, I mean,
it was great.
Pretty much everybody did.
Yeah, he just happened to be the one that we had. It just
Right.
happened to be the one we had on camera.
What a moment that was, man. That's a top 5 combine moment in our
Really
22
cool.
years now.
Really cool.
My gosh, that was amazing. And the kid scores twice in the Super Bowl, by the way. Twice in the first day and on the opening night, and twice in the Super Bowl.
It's pretty cool.
Nick Martin with a 4.55. Excellent times for him. He's a man, and he runs a 40.
Exactly. Has he hit 50 yet?
Grundy, I think he has.
He's
Yes,
hit
sir.
50.
It's that time of night, isn't it? We'll finish up the 40s from the linebackers, and then we'll finish up the on-field drills of night 1 of 4 here live at the Combine on NFL Network.
He's a kid.
That's right. So here's some 40s that we missed while at commercial. Bam. Runs a 4.63. I was ready to say he was going to kick it up a notch, but he did not. Same. Mawingoa. Francisco. 4.66. So let's see if the leader in the clubhouse, not just for the linebacker group, but unofficially for the entire combine so far, day 1, will improve his time. Peter Schrager?
Yeah, we opened up the linebacker drills talking about his teammate, Carson Schlesinger. Medrano, as Daniel said, an incredible athlete. When he was in high school, he threw the discus and did all the relay events and won the Steinmark Award, which was the best male student athlete in Colorado, a 6-year player at UCLA, and of course a captain. So between Schlesinger and Medrano, good linebacker group out of UCLA this year in the draft.
No doubt.
I just love the fact that he ran like that because there hasn't been a ton of buzz on him. And when I was going through the tape, I'm like, this guy's kind of interesting, man. Like, at least find something for him to do. Find a role for him on special teams or what have you. 222 pounds, he can roll.
4.46. He's 4.48. He can roll. Yes, sir. 2 sub 4.5 40s for Kain Medrano out of UCLA. From Westwood to here in Indianapolis, impressing on the 40-yard dash line. And then they're going to get out there for the on-field drills, and once that's over, we'll turn the page to tomorrow, where the defensive backs will go out first, then the tight end group. So when the defensive backs finish up, then the defense will be done, and the offense will take over. Saturday, a big day with the quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers. Offensive line wraps us up on Sunday. Smell Munden Jr. .458. He has improved. Stacy?
Yeah, Rich, I had to do a little digging on the shoes that Demetrius Knight is wearing. very important stuff. They're flashy, by the way. His wife, here's the story. His wife, Jency, actually, he told me, found them. She's very fashionable, kind of his stylist of sorts. Adidas, they're made by Adidas. They sent them, so shout out Adidas. And they are Scrooge McDuck shoes, just like the Christmas Carol. And, you know, Knight told me it's kind of fitting in a way, uncanny and similar to maybe his story. And hopefully they send him more, is the message.
Hey, Stace, can you ask him if Scrooge McDuck now owns the Dodgers? I was just curious on that one.
Oh, my God.
Let me go follow up.
Don't engage.
OMW, DJ.
Don't engage.
It's ridiculous, Rich. Come on. Even the Yankees are complaining about it.
Yep. Yes, sir. All these players coming in saying, you know, pay me on my pension. Right? But spoken like a true Padre fan to use NFL Network Combine platform time.
We had him
grind
dead to rights.
Your axe.
Seriously, no Freddie Freeman at home. I just need to win one. They got a bullpen game, and we go 24 innings without a run. How does that happen?
This guy.
Okay, here's Chris Paul Jr. Goes by Pooh. Machado was healthy, by the way.
This guy. .465. Final 40 of the first day. Danny Stutzman with, it's right next door, isn't it?
Hey, Coach.
It's him. Right next door.
Sleep in his own bed tonight.
Yeah, I know that. No doubt. The home team at the Combine again. Danny Stutzman.
We need to talk about him with what he ran.
4.52.
Excellent.
You took off. Off hands back. 3 good counts for us. You got this, man.
They let him stand up some and rush off the edge, plays off the ball. He's a real physical tackler. I wrote down stopping power a bunch when I watched him. Like, he hits guys, it's over. Some of this change of direction stuff I'm curious to see because he was a little bit rigid there, but you can see he can really go.
Mm-hmm. He gets whistled again.
Dan,
I guess Mark doesn't want to see the on-field drills.
And hold it for 3 counts. You don't have to be, man. Just have clarity, man. Quiet as the stillest mind creates clarity. You'll get off.
What an off season for the Browns. That's already drama-filled with Myles Garrett going to the Super Bowl saying he wants to have a change of address. 2nd overall pick, Deshaun Watson not playing next year due to an Achilles injury. Stutzman's final 40 is a 4.56.
2 good runs.
So we will obviously have a lot of real estate to talk about the Browns over the next 3 days. As the NFL Combine presented by Microsoft Pilot, where a dream that starts small can get big and a name that's unknown can become the future. Next is here, and what's next is defensive backs and tight ends at 3 Eastern tomorrow on NFL Network and streaming on NFL Plus as well.